Now, while I'm leading in this musical, so of course, they do a musical every other year. But in the previous year, Angie, Ndambuki, and Asila were in the previous musical. And in fact, Debbie was the lead chick in the previous musical, which was Jack and the Beanstalk. So me, I'm the Kafresha coming into the changing room, now getting ready for the musical. We haven't really done it yet. We're now rehearsing. And this chick, who is Asila, who walks in and she's like, who the hell is Angela Mwandanda? By the way, I'm feeling like, am I going through monetization all over again? Who's this chick? And then I introduced myself to her. I'm like, yeah, hi, it's me. And I mean, we had a pleasant conversation, but I think she was sort of sussing me out because she was the lead previous year. So I think they were trying to,
Who's taking over?
Who's taking
over the throne?
Who's taking over the throne? Oh, please. Anyway, but a reasonable friendship. We were not that close at the time, but we were friends.
And you are all in Cinderella now?
Now we were all in Cinderella. It's only that now, like, I was playing the lead and they now were in the chorus.
Yeah,
no, but they were bad news because, like, in the musical, we had like tap dancing. You had to even learn like proper tap dancing with tap dancing shoes. So like Debbie, Angie, a friend of ours called Archie, and there was like I think 2 or 3 other girls. They had like a segment for their own where they would just come and do their tap dance thing. There'd be parts in the musical where you come and do a Maasai dance. So the musical was really, it was theater as you know it. For me, that was as close to Broadway as we ever got. So I'm interacting with Debbie and Angie, and then of course I'm interacting more with the newbies, more of the girls who we've come into the theater more or less at the same time. But when I say that Phoenix was a launching pad, because after that there were a lot of doors that were open for us. For example, when products were launching into the country and people needed like dancing chicks, not like pretty much like Sarakasi, what Sarakasi dancers do now. They would come to Phoenix and get people to dance. So Ian would, a lot of the time, would get like a couple of us to do a routine. We had Misiko Andere and my friend Juliet Opondo, who would be the choreographers. And they would teach us routines for a specific, depending on what the client's needs were. So somewhere in between all of that, I think we kind of formed a friendship. We were 6 of us actually, Debbie, Angie, myself, there was Nkatha, Annette, and there was someone else who I can't remember, I apologize, it will come to my head. But then now we started having this kind of friendship where, we dance for certain gigs. We danced for Safaricom when they first came into the country. When Red Bull was launching in the country, when KQ were launching one of their Boeings. In fact, I have a picture of us in our Maasai outfits as the chicks who were dancing when these planes. So it was opening doors and it was giving us pocket money in the time that, we were deciding what we wanted to do. And so a lot of the time, even after the musical ended, I would still try and do plays at Phoenix, whether it's a Shakespeare or a thriller or a comedy, because now I fell in love with theater. I fell in love with performing because I realized in my head, when I'm on stage, it's not me. I'm taking on a character. And for as long as I'm taking on a character, I can be anything, So James and I really formed a relationship, James Falkland and I, where I would go to the office every Tuesday. He'd give me a Shakespeare book to read a passage. I'd go and cram the lines. He'd teach me about enunciation and stuff. So I'm learning theater and we're doing dancing. And then at the end of let's say I did a show at Phoenix, all of us would get together as friends. We'd go and dance at Size, like to relieve the pressure of So we dance at Size, nini. Now we didn't know, I hope I'm telling the story right. Anyway, this is the version I remember. Size was owned by Don Smith, the guy now who owns Flight 540. Us guys were oblivious to us. We're just 6 chicks having a good time, dancing and having, This guy who owns this club really likes the way us guys are having a good time in his club. So he pulls one of us aside and he's like, you know, you chicks are really having a good time and I really like it. How about I invite you to our club. You come here every Friday. And this is now when Smirnoff Ice was launching into the country.
Yeah, joking.
So he had like a partnership, I think, with Smirnoff Ice where they were launching the product. And I think in his mind, how he wanted the marketing to work was just people having a good time in the club, except that it's choreographed in that these 6 chicks are always going to be here every Friday. We're going to give them a crate of Smirnoff Ice. And they're going to do what they seem to be doing naturally, which is having a good time.
That was actually very sharp.
It was.
Now when I think of it.
Yeah, because we were getting paid. So we're like, yeah, by all means. So every Friday for almost a year and a half.
No way.
Yeah, it was a job for us. It was work. So we're going to size. Here is our crate plonk. Of course, now we have mileage. Now people are like digging our story, like, hey, there are these 6 chicks who are here. They come every Friday at size. We go, we dance on the dance floor. Our routine comes because now we have routines in our head from all these other performances we've had. So if it's the Kenya Airways one, we do it on stage. Or if it's the one we did for Safcom, we do it on stage. Or then we just sit down. We have a Smirnoff Ice, all of us. So we're being ourselves. Only that now we're getting paid. And now, of course, now our friends from the theater also used to come. So we're bringing in people, which is what I guess Don saw in the long run, that it's marketing for the club. Let me tell you, if you think you never get tired of clubbing, imagine we did. It got to a point where we were just tired. We were just so fed up because we wanted a Friday where we can imagine. First, we were excited, like for almost 6, 7, 12 months, we're like, on Friday, you know where to find us. By month 14, we're like, no, it's just too much. We're tired. We're getting home at 3. We're spending all the money that you were giving us here, or you know, buying clothes at Toy. You know, no one had really told us about how to invest wisely. We were just living our lives, our best lives at that time. And I think that's really when our bond as friends just sort of locked, because it wasn't just about our love for performing. We had time to get to know each other. Angie, this time, she lives very far. She lived in Banana. So, of course, she's not going to take a cab all the way to Banana to after
There was no Uber, man. There was no Uber.
There was no Uber. And you're not going to spend all the money you've made from the club at Tina as transport. So she would rotate and stay with either myself or she'd stay with our friend Archie. And for us, that was our connection, even with Debbie. So this is like a very prime age for us. We're in our 20s. We're starting to understand a career path, you know, going into campus, what we want to do. Our friendship really solidified during this time.
There's something about that age also where friendships are just pure.
Yeah, it was so pure, very honest. Looking back, we were aspiring to be like where we are now. Like we wanted to be grown-ups, make our own money, move out, blah, blah, blah. That time we were crying. Me, I was always crying, like, I just want to be happy. I didn't realize at that time that was happy. Like, look at me, I'm overcoming this kind of anxiety that I've carried for so long. Like, look at me making money. Like, I'm not asking my folks for pocket money.
No, that's deep.
I'm having fun. I'm dancing here in a club. We're living our best lives. But I think, at least for me at that time, I didn't really realize it because I was always aspiring for something bigger and greater. But these are very defining moments for us because we helped each other through so much, whether it was finances, relationships. Oh, Lord Jesus. Our folks got to know each other at that time because, you know, if you're calling your folks and you're working late at Size, you tell your mom, okay, I'm at Rabbit's or I'm at Angie's or Angie's at mine. So we really, it was our sisterhood. By that time, it was a sisterhood.
Who is that you've called Rabbit? You can get the zone.
I know. I called. Okay, she's gonna kill me. I'm sorry, but anyway, everyone knows. So at Phoenix, there were many Angelas.
Yes.